Once again the world might fall prey to an ancient evil. Once again we're hurled into darkness and great upheaval. Those who can enlist, let's unite and we'll fight together. We must save the crystals or orbs or the moon, whatever. Come, let's fly. We'll sail where the wind may take us through that starry sky. 'Cause apparently back then they had ships that could do that. Draw your sword and stick it in trees that have human features. Journey toward the thicket and steal shit from woodland creatures. Though the villain shames us, we'll pwn all his dark abettors. Funny how our names all contain less than 7 letters. Shine your light, the forces of evil can't outlast a mage a knight. A weird little kid and a ninja master, key change move. Raise our levels high, cross the mountains and plains and oceans. Don't forget to buy several buttloads of tents and potions. Storm the villain's hideout and keep your courageous spirit. Scream a battle cry loud enough that the bitch can hear it. Finally, the hunter of soul shall be the hunted. Now they'll see we'll save humankind like we always wanted when we were little. Summer vacation, dancing in our jammies, 'cause we beat Final Fantasy.
Let's go. Alright. Let's do the thing. Hi, Tataru. Everyone likes the garments I prepared for them. The time I spent polishing my skills wasn't in vain. In case you're wondering, Grahati is an outfit suited for traveling, while his weapons use a piece of the Crystal Tower as the focus. Brilliant, right? Now, I know we probably shouldn't go around chipping bits off a log and relics, but it was just one little piece. I'm curious what's in here. I've never actually been in here outside of a cutscene. It's not dark anymore. Hi, Thancred. Only a short time has passed in the source. For me, it's been several long years. It's passing strange to see how little has changed here in the Rising Stones. Sometimes I can't help but feel as if I'm dreaming. Then I see the equipment Tataru prepared for us, and helps bring me back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Reen continues her fight for the first, and I must resume my own here. By thine account, the 14th seat of the convocation was known as Azim, a title succinctly familiar ring. Mine imagination could not fail but run wild. From Azima the Warden in Eorzea to Azim the Dawnfather in the Far East, in nigh every corner of Hydaelyn do those deities revered as personifications of the sun and share like names. Oh, okay, so I wasn't incorrect. I wasn't incorrect to be like, isn't Azim the guy worshipped at the on the Azim step? Yeah. Could they all perchance trace their origin to the 14th seat? I did muse, though we may ne'er be proven otherwise. Such a theory, I do believe, lieth firmly within the realm of possibility. As you know, Seeker of the Sun Culture. In Seeker of the Sun Culture, the title Tia indicates a male who does not preside over territory. As regards to this, Alphino came to me with a consultation. The Crystarium may not be a territory in the traditional sense, he said, but our friend governed it with great leadership nonetheless. As such, would it not be inappropriate to call him Tia? As is by no means disrespectful to omit the title, I told Alphino that he is free to do so if he wishes, but I for one intend to call him by his full name, at least until he has decided what he wants for himself in his new life. Wait, so what's that? Title Tia indicates a male who does not preside over territory. Would not be inappropriate. Okay, so she's saying, is calling him Graha Tia odd considering he did govern the Crystal Tower? I like these little bits of lore. Greetings. Coming to look in on our friends? Rest assured, everyone's quite well. I have been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in the Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we?
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I have a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Oh, hey, Lise.
Welcome back, everyone.
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Come on, Nulu.
Grahatir at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
God, he's such...
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I don't know, Eorzea. The next expansion's supposed to be pretty intense.
Take that as a yes.
We aren't at our vacation just yet.
Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Oh, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you use to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
Consider yourself uninvited.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
I like stuffy meetings. They're filled with lore.
Rest assured, there'll be many, many more. Go on, lend Alize a hand.
I'll come too, if you don't mind.
My boyfriend wants to be here.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean...
God, he's so gay for
I
us.
simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
Yeah, I can't swap to Mavic. I can't.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
I think I might want to change my name though, to make it more actual Makote. I might just go M''sing. Don't worry, I can say with complete confidence Graha is dressed for anything. Oh, I didn't click on Graha. Oh well. I saw Hallbreak. I think Gaboo was always in the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I am convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by Sin Eaters, the ether of Gaboo's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It's by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alice, and it warrants full investigation. There's even a chance we can save Gaboo. We have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limbs and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Beck Luke would remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. Just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt. The combined work of many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of modern scholars, perhaps. What of their ancient counterparts? I know the Alogans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Etherochemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Aziz La, which means it will be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at North Bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you, and come prepared to travel. Also, do they sell Graha's outfit? And if they do, how much is it? Oh, there's a sale. Oh, I forgot there's an event going on for freaking Final Fantasy 11 year, right? I have to go do that at some point. Where's the not mounts, costume set? I have to imagine they sell it, right? No, not. They look similar, but that's not it. I feel like all the major NPCs have their stuff for sale. No, I'm not seeing it. It's not currently available. Okay. I can't match my boyfriend then. Dang. I'm figuring if I was gonna spend money on the, if I was gonna spend money renaming myself. What's up, Real? Well, thank Cordelia and Jay are off to Garlemald. I'll keep the information flowing between us and the Alliance. After all, close coordination is the key to winning this war. Is the quest for the Final Fantasy XI gear... I'm assuming it's in much easier to mass tone since it's just constant grinding. I know I should look into, because after doing all of the Eden raids, I should look into fixing that up. Tatar, did you just change outfits in between scenes? Give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with some help from her friends at the Rising Stones and named it for her Luck and Prosperity. Named her for Luck and Prosperity. Jotaro, this is amazing! We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship, I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin keeper. I'd also introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. It starts in Limsa, okay. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azisla. But enough talk, it's time to fly, all aboard. Did I ever mention that I was fond of flying? Because I am. Be it on an airship, in a Maro, or a chocobo, there's nothing so exhilarating as feeling the wind on your face as the horizon unfolds before you. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are at Azisla, and Alphino's reports did not do the scale of this place justice. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and I believe I have my bearings. This is my first time on Azisla. I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I'm mistaken, this path leads to an aetherite, beyond which there's an informational terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Would it still be called tempering? Will the logins potentially have a different word for it? There we are. Icon corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. Indeed. Let's see what this report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. No, isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid, but it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report is written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had his quarters in the Habisphere, which we can ascertain the details at Habisphere control. Let's return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We'll need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship then. We'll see you at the Habisphere. I also should start leveling another class on. I should start leveling another class on missing at some point. Because I'm already 83. 90 is the cap. I will probably hit the cap at some point. The mana cutters appear to be ironworks made, but I dare say Tataru will craft her own soon enough. Welcome to the Hemisphere Control. How may I assist you? The late Owen did indeed have a chamber here. This note will be able to tell us its number. What I can recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning, an evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Hemisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it'll be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example? Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continent. You seem to recall? Are you honestly telling me it was in your records, too? A report sent to the capital mentioned the lightning-aspected ether was prone to pooling in the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there's no such thing as too much Elogan knowledge. Besides, my studies help me feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, 'tis more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Beware of the sprites. They are wont to manifest where the aether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off. What makes me think that we should, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. First return here with the shard wins? What do you say? It would be my honor to come in third. Is this the right way? Yeah, Wisdom of a Log. Oh, also... much better. Bravo! That was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. It appears you have fortified our little race. Congratulations. The lightning shard is yours. What? No dramatic entrance? You've changed. Do you remember that? You remember that? In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It wasn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. The contest continues, so you better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you for bringing me here. Let me do... really quick. System config. Where are the hotkeys? Are hotkeys in character settings? Control settings. No, wait, no. They're their own thing. They're in key bindings. There we go. Targeting. There. I use RNT for easy targeting the tanks as a healer. Ew. Nice, he's alive. You have a shard? Then you win. I searched high and low, but I couldn't find so much as a trace of stagnant ether. Here's Alice had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That's a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect it could be we can both learn a great deal from Missing. And not only just about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent, the system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, security systems within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I'm right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out of there at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overview sounds like studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphino's was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlian's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's chair's policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced that his views would cheerfully argue to the death of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the rows were long, and to be fair to him, though, he's since learned that to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphino, for what it's worth. My thesis concerned a Logan civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the students of Baldessian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved, but enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes. Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of that report still survives, it will be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Scanning for a registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, your highness. Never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga Nune said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. What item found? Iconic corruption. An overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. I'll go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right, let's see. Glory be to a log. Long live Emperor Zand. Password. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now. Passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... Password! Yes, she did the thing. Please tell me it's correct. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. Oh my god. Okay, Alice is about to beat the shit out of this orb. What did that thing just call me? Courage. Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I see we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone could coax Machina into cooperating, it's them. Come, let's bear the node back to the Rising Stones. So, like, Doga and Une told him, like, oh, your blood's power over the tower won't... Actually, no, never mind. I was gonna say, Doga and Une said it wouldn't last forever, but he did live 100 years using it. But that being said, he's now in his younger body, and because time is wibbly-wobbly, it could have been, like, 2 days since he was put in the tower, because they don't want to ever confirm how long shit has been in this game. Threat detected. Fine, I'll let Sid try his hand first, but if that doesn't work, we're doing it my way. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However much I may look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone. But come, let's be on our way. Even on the first, him being integrated into the tower could have prolonged the blood in his body being turned into crystal and such. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. He was using crystal... I mean, it's been a bit since I played the Crystal Tower raids. Is the implication that, like, his... him being registered as Alogan royalty won't last forever, but he'll still have the Alogan blood so he can control the Crystal Tower. It wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? Because I guess the other thing, too, is, like, if the implication is that it wouldn't last forever, him sealing himself away for hundreds of years might have been problematic. Though I suppose the idea is that once he's awoken, he would have been awoken by people who would have figured out how to control the Crystal Tower without the blood of a log. I suppose he wouldn't have needed it at that point. Take it you have news to share? So do I. Pleased to see your mission was a success in no small part due to the bonanza. Carl's back too. I wonder what was decided at the council. Large low-born presence detected. Wonderful news. Sataru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should very much like to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryle? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from Dome and allies, the War of Secession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of our greatest concern to us is the Third, a legion allied with Lord Neva. It appears that they have received substantial financial backing from the House of Brutus. Brutus. Aren't those the ones who took in Yotsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, should remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Eorzea will be able to shed some light on his activities once they return. Until such a time as they do, Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. And took this as tech is dangerous and needs to be locked away till people know how to use it, while Cid was the one who would spearhead the ability to eventually open the Crystal Tower during the evades of the 8th Calamity. That being said, they did expand on that, and the implications are weird and hard to explain in text. Yeah, no worries. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of the decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Leminsians in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphino and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. So as long as we're dealing with the tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we could develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in the Dawn's Respite? I'll show Cid in as soon as he arrives. Cid, at long last. As important as Gabu is to me, I know only too well how much more is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. Warning, His Highness is exhibiting elevated blood pressure. Cid! Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering for a while longer. I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with the idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What was it? If I found out that an alternate version of myself figured out the secrets to time travel, I'd be like, that means I can do it. Well, a treatment for tempering, and for the next step you need to find the password of this login report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly unless we turn to you. I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew we could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it may be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an login dictionary. I'll transfer the information to the terminal and set it to work right away. You're assuming it's a word. It could just be a random string of characters. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password's freedom. Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Node, open the report titled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to an alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend Sephiroth will cause the subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to the elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged, or stagnant during the process. Have we seen people turn into monsters from tempering yet? I don't feel like we have. But that does make it seem more like Sin Eater stuff. The stagnation of the soul has an effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects. An endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption. In accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence I have been stripped of my rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hopes that one day, someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. Why'd you put a password on it, then? If you wanted someone in the future to find it, why'd you password protect this document? Anyway, so not even the logins were able to find a cure, or rather, we're not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms the stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we to simply reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. So we need to brainwash them. There's no point in reviving their souls unless we can revive their sense of self. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effects of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation, that is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Though thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith, which have come to dominate the individual's thoughts. Theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you're right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. Then perhaps it's better we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe I have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password, but it'll take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up for the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a... That's what I'm wondering. Why do you suppose he locked it behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. He wanted the report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective, I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Luckily we have you to help, eh? Suffice to say, I shall be of whatever help I can. All those Magitech terminals won't come cheap. Ah, shut up, Tataru. Some things you shouldn't put a price on. As with our first foray into the Labyrinth of the Ancients, we seek to venture into the unknown, and in order to succeed, we require not only the knowledge and preparation, but daring besides, just like old times. We're getting there, one step at a time. While Graha and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, the ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have, both the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I shall round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In any case, I trust Missing an LSA with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for both of you. Take them to the Sky Steel Manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. People there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face around the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. Ah, my prospectometer seems rather fond of you. Let's see, shall we? Odd garb, striking presence. Would I be right in assuming you are the outsider who helped save Ishgard? I thought as much. My prospectometer seldom lies, and it's just let me say, you have made the right choice in visiting our humble workshop. Welcome to the Sky Steel Manufactory, where miracles are born from ether, metal, and imagination. From cannons to ballistas, we develop and manufacture a range of weapons designed for slaying dragon invaders, but we are also accepting students who wish to take up a firearm and learn techniques of the Machinist. What say you? Are you interested in joining us and exploring the Machinist discipline? Not right now. I'm already doing that in another life. Oh, wait. I'm not supposed to talk to you. You're after ceruleum. In that case, please present your note to our engineer at the airship landing, and she'll be glad to assist you. Where's the airship landing? Ceruleum, you've come to the right man. Fair warning, though. The price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you got the coin. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem. It's as good as gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course.
I have noticed his tongue is like...
Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
Thought the cutscene was over. Why does she look so like depressed?
Oh, who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Who are you and what have you done with Alice? She'd never admit she's wrong.
This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it. Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Oh my god, he's back! It's the boy!
It's been a while, hero.
It has!
You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering.
No, you have an interest in Sid.
But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Yeah, it's not. You just want to kiss him. You just want to be here to smooch.
For all the effort it took to track you down after your latest disappearing act, you could find the cure for death, and it wouldn't be worth the trouble.
Sid tracked him down. They do both love each other.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me.
I knew it!
9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
I do love the idea of Nero coming back in time being like, guess what, Sid?
Do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin.
I am always happy when they're together.
All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
Why don't we just... There are, like, beds in the other room. Why don't we just, like, actually go to sleep?
Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There!
I'm just gonna need more ice.
I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
That's very convenient. At a glance.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, We've done what we can.
So they just designed a
The rest is
botnet
up
to
to
figure
you.
out how magic works. This is the kind of, like, fantasy I enjoy as far as, like... So, like, people like, rag on Legend of Korra for, like, one of the things that I know I've heard people complain about Legend of Korra is, like, how did society go from Avatar's feudal situation all the way to the Industrial Revolution in the course of, like, 50 years? And, like, that's what an Industrial Revolution does. But also, like, you give me a world in which people can bend the elements of reality to their will, and then you tell me that there isn't technology? Like, that's weird to me. The fact that, like, the Forgotten Realms has, like, thousands of years of history, and they haven't had an actual, like, Industrial Revolution is weird to me, when it's like, I can magically make fire. We don't even need coal or, like, a steam engine. I can just poof. So, like, the fact that you can use magic to make a botnet, that makes sense to me. I enjoy that. Finally have it. The cure for the tempering. All that remains to put it to use. I shall be praying for your success on the front lines. In the end, we didn't have to pay for the terminals, which is great for us, but I can't help but feel for my counterpart in the ironworks. Alas, the ironworks crew couldn't linger long, far too much to do, yet brief though our time was, it was bloody good to see them. Long last, we have our cure. In theory, at any rate. We cannot be certain until such a time as we put it to proof, but I'm quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gaboo. His symptoms are relatively mild. He'll be fine, I'm sure of it. As long as we exercise due caution, it'll be fine. Without further ado, let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gaboo waiting long enough. Plain Alizé is very fond of Gaboo, to the extent that I have a hand in it. I shall do all in my power to bring him back. This is the moment of truth. I'll have our host bring Gaboo to us at once.
Apologies for the wait. Gaboo, have you been good?
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment? Using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Ah, nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
The best boy.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I, for one, would be glad to assist.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission, then, let us begin. Yes, this will do. And now, it's my turn. Tis done.
No small amount indeed. Oh.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allagans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Alize. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Alice will succeed, I'm certain of it. We need but have faith. Well, seems good a spot as any to have a rest.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light-corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Eorzea refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion.
Don't tell me, tell her.
I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire. Eorzea, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Eorzea's and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Eorzea. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Eorzea was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then, the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gabu. But the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Eorzea. Thank you.
Eorzea will be exhausted from her efforts, but you wouldn't think so, so to look at her for now. If she's ready to press on, then so am I. We did it. We brought Gabu back, and if I have any say in the matter, he'll be the first of many. You may recall that in order to procure the ingredients for Angelo, we had no choice but to surrender ourselves to the whims of the pixies, but I should have done so with far better grace had I known that we would want what we would go on to achieve. This sure looks like a dungeon, or a trial. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first, but this seems as good a time as any. Let's make for the cave. It's been some time since Master Matoya last saw Y'shtola. What a lot they will have to talk about. Do you remember, when last we came here, it was to find out why the others had collapsed. If someone had told me then that they'd already been whisked away to another world, I probably would have laughed in their face. Live and learn, eh? Master Matoya is something of a legend among Archons. I very much look forward to meeting her, if not the dressing down I'm liable to receive for my inept attempts at summoning you. I take it you're ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil? Very well.
Nary a word from you all this time, then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I am told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away, and for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
Maybe you let her explain that part.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatir is my name, and I am proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
The first place, the place of the first, where they went.
The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day.
I love how she complains about people only coming to her for favors, but she also just doesn't like being around people for any other reason anyway.
So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxes with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were. Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
Porksy that produces Porksies. What an inspired idea. By the way, do you not think, do you think I misspoke earlier? I assure you it was not my intention to embarrass anyone. Moldy old hole. She really must miss the place. What does she mean, do you think? Some manner of hidden workshop, perhaps? In case you ever wondered, Alphino got its innocent streak from our mother, and it can be rather endearing, even useful in certain situations. Most of the time, it just makes me want to shake him. Poor Y'shtola. Alright, off to my old workshop then. Everything required to make your familiars is there. That may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what's become of it. Oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars and mayhap a monster or two, but nothing to trouble the likes of you. You can consider cleaning up the place, payment for my help. Fine, we'll do it. Good girl. Now, if there are no objections, I suggest you run along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my pirogos. They'll let you into the workshop. You need only to tell them who you are. One can't be too careful, after all. Off you go. Okay. It's across the way. Where's the gang? Here's the gang. Puro the Unwashed. Judging by the unruly state of the floor without, I think it's safe to assume that there will be no shortage of unruly fauna within. Add to the undisturbed secrets of the workshop, and we have the makings of an adventure. The workshop was an unforgiving place even before the Exodus, and I doubt the years of neglect have improved it. The grass could certainly do with a trim. As I may have mentioned, Eorzea and I were still very young when we departed with the Exodus. I envy Y'shtola for remembering the city as it once was. Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relict. Purorogo is my name, and I'm honored to be your guide. Within you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern wherein requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, for over 15 years, and will, I regret, be in some disarray. Rest assured, my brothers and I will see to it that you do not lose your way. Now then, only say the word and I will show you in. Matoya's relic now accessible. Okay, the boyfriend's mandatory because he's the tank. God, I always want to bring Alphino and Eorzea together, but it's Matoya's place, so I feel like I should bring Y'shtola.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Porogos say, or you'll wish you had.
Need to harvest some clay. No, wrong button. Yeah. Are we just below where we were earlier? Son of Ziggy! Rip Ziggy Stardust, I had to kill him. We need to deal with the Mudman. Alright. Sounds good. We have to go. Oh, we put the tether onto orb. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're just making the direction that it's going to fly. Okay, cool. Oh, I could have made it so it would fall into a hole. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi. This sure is a really complicated... This sure is a really complicated building for just being a workshop. When even Y'shtola advises caution. I should hang out with Y'shtola. Are we supposed to do something here? Yes, we are. The rest of the gang wasn't doing it. Okay. What? I'm confused. What the fuck was I supposed to be doing? Okay. Nobody else was hopping on the cloud. I was waiting for the NPCs to show me what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. Actually, can I just... No. Alright, here we go. Oh wait, Spunkle.
Just the beginning.
Come on. Here we go. There we go. That was a lot simpler. Was it you who created the familiar? To have closure after all those years. Jeez. I feel like using fire attacks on this should not be effective, but, you know, won't complain. What the ribbit? Ah, Frog Moses, thank you. Graha, maybe don't stand directly in the... Anyhow.
Away with you!
I need to get better at using stuff that's not my summons. Like, I should be using Energy Drain and Pain Flare and stuff more. Thank you, Frog Moses. That takes care of the kiln. I have to defeat the Mother Porksy? I thought we're here to create the Mother Porksy. What if I kindly refuse?
Right then, let's get this over with.
She's majestic.
Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
She's wonderful. Pugnacious specimen, just like its creator. You can't target anything. I'm just gonna stand with where the gang is. Okay. I see. Okay. Whoop.
Just the beginning.
There we go. Are we finished then? She's twitching. Is that normal? Nothing quite like a kiln fresh familiar. Quite a fight she put up. Let's see, does this dungeon give anything good? No.
There we are. Quite tame.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more.
You know, I can also help. I have one extra soul in my soul, you know. I suppose Graha's experienced an extra rejoining.
That should suffice.
Oh, I'm seeing the monk in the background.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we?
That's cute.
I want to see some porkses. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say. Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the Mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
There's the fighter.
Still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone, we're a step closer to our goal.
And also, if Graha dies, we don't need to. We still have a way to do the thing.
Allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Laminsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
I mean, I didn't take the lead. You were in the party with me, Y'shtola.
To the Porksies, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
Forgive me if this is a silly question, but of all creatures real and imagined, why choose a flying pig? Not that I dislike pigs, mind you. You better not. Graha, you better not. Do you see this lad? We'd have discussions about our relationship if you had problems. Given it was the first time making a Porksy, Master Matoya did a fine job, although she did have Angela for inspiration. Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with Y'shtola. They're peas in a pod, are they not? Well then, my friends, let's return to Limsa Laminsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in Bulwark Hall should be suffices to see and secure an audience. Even as we speak, we are weaving a new future, and when it all becomes history, I hope that those who follow may look back on it with gladness. Though the Admiral is not expecting us, I'm certain she will want to hear our report. Come, let's request an audience. If we offer them the means to cure the Tempered, the Beast Tribes are far more likely to listen. Ever welcome sight. Tidings for the Admiral, you say? She is presently receiving guests, but for the Scions, I know she'll make an exception. Follow me. My friends, what brings you here this day? Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I've been in awe of you, Scions, I would not have thought it possible. And yet it is, Admiral. We've done it. Here in Limsa, and production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks, truly. This will do much to advance the cause of peace, yet I fear it'll take more to close the rift twixt man and beastman. Even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. For those summoning and the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. If we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. 'Twas I who moved the Alliance to renew this push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Leminsians have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahagin for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen, and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbren than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. Aye, acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the 3 pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would flounder without them. We're starting to dig into politics that are not Ul'dah, for once. I can't believe that other cities have governments. I'm given to understand their leader, Captain Hilfer, has been bedridden for some time with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, the right hand leads, a man named Sicard, but recently risen to prominence among the ranks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We've invited him to speak with us more than once, but he will not come. I've tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned naught of any value. Leave it to us. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever Sicard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I'll be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn, then. Good luck. That being said, it is time I wrapped up things and got to work here. So, let's see who's live. Oh my god, Natty-chan's live! We're rating Natty. We're rating Natty. It's been too long. Raid settings don't allow me to raid. Dang it. Well, it doesn't need to be an official raid. So, if you guys wanna head on over, I'd appreciate it. Raid messages, maybe not a raid message if she's not accepting official raids, but either way, head on over there. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you all next